Restaurant Daily brings you the top headlines of the day, but did you know you can dig deeper into the industry news by listening to The Week in Restaurants, or as we call it, TWIR. Available wherever you get your podcasts on Fridays, TWIR features restaurant business editor-in-chief Jonathan Mays, senior editor and tech editor Joe Guskowski, and executive editor Lisa Jennings, the TWIRmites, who gather each week to chew on the top stories impacting the restaurant industry and offer their insights and analysis. Follow wherever you get your podcasts.
What the first quarter tells us about consumer behavior. Subway is shaking up its marketing strategy, and the National Restaurant Show is underway in Chicago. Welcome to Restaurant Daily, your daily dose of the most important news in the industry from the editors of Restaurant Business and Nation's Restaurant News. I'm RB Executive Editor Lisa Jennings.
And I'm NRN Managing Editor Leanne Zinsmeister. First quarter earnings reveal consumers are struggling with persistent inflation and rising costs. Amid this backdrop, Technomic has identified 5 realities facing the U.S. restaurant consumer. First, overextended consumers living paycheck to paycheck are still visiting restaurants for social experiences and improved food quality despite the high prices. Second, health-focused maxing trends are driving protein and fiber-rich menus. Third, younger consumers are unplugging from digital and seeking authentic connections while valuing service over technology. Fourth, younger consumers are also seeking familiar flavors over adventurous options. And finally, some legacy brands are thriving through nostalgia marketing, offering comfort and predictability during uncertain times.
Subway is reportedly shaking up its marketing team and strategy. The sandwich giant has amicably parted ways with its global chief marketing officer, Greg Lyons, roughly a year after he stepped into the role, according to a report in Ad Age. CEO Jonathan Fitzpatrick is eliminating the global CMO position and shifting to a regional structure. Jeff Klein, former SVP of marketing, is now US CMO, and Dave Skina, who joined the company last year as North American CMO, is now Chief Strategy Officer and Chief Commercial Officer. In addition, Subway has hired a new ad agency and is launching a creative review with the goal of rebuilding brand relevance, especially with younger consumers.
Daddy's Chicken Shack has a new owner. The fast casual chicken sandwich chain was owned by venture firm Area 15, but it has been acquired by New Jersey-based multi-concept group Esperto Hospitality. The plan is to open Daddy's locations in New Jersey and expand on the East Coast, as well as open the brand to franchising. Esperto operates 6 concepts in New Jersey, including Covo Italian Steakhouse, Local House Kitchen, and The Office.
Restaurant operators face challenges in decision-making thanks to economic uncertainty and shifting consumer behavior. At the National Restaurant Show, Theo Schweitz, CEO of DriveWheel, highlighted that consumer expectations of inflation often exceed reality, contributing to low consumer sentiment and decision paralysis among operators. Schweitz identified 3 patterns causing hesitation: fear of mistakes, waiting for certainty, and reluctance to commit. Visit NRN.com for his advice on overcoming decision paralysis.
Consumer sentiment has reached an all-time low, worse than even pandemic readings. Yet the restaurant industry continues to demonstrate resiliency as consumers continue to prioritize dining out. This complex trend presents several opportunities for restaurant operators to meet anxious consumers where they are and ensure value is about more than just price point, but also experience. This was the biggest takeaway from National Restaurant Association economist Chad Moutre during a session at the National Restaurant Association show. He was joined by executives from Fogo de Chão and Dynamic Hospitality, who reported record Valentine's and Mother's Day sales, but slower weekday traffic. Both concepts have adapted by providing value offerings during the week and launching promotions with lower entry points.
AI could be poised to transform the restaurant industry. How do young restaurateurs feel about that? At the NRA show, 4 culinary students from Northern Arizona University said they're already using AI to do things like take inventory and scale recipes. And they're open to other uses like AI phone answering. But they drew the line at using AI to come up with new menu items. That's the fun part of the job, one said. Why would we want to give that up?
Amen. And that should do it for Restaurant Daily. Listen to us every weekday wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Leanne Zinsmeister.
And I'm Lisa Jennings. If you're here in Chicago, come by and say hello.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Restaurant Daily. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and subscribe. Restaurant Daily brings you the top headlines of the day, but did you know you can dig deeper into the industry news by listening to The Week in Restaurants, or as we call it, TWIR. Available wherever you get your podcasts on Fridays, TWIR features restaurant business editor-in-chief Jonathan Mays, senior editor and tech editor Joe Guskowski, and executive editor Lisa Jennings, the TWIRmites, who gather each week to chew on the top stories impacting the restaurant industry and offer their insights and analysis. Follow wherever you get your podcasts.